Yo, what is good, my anime faithful? What is good, yo? So, I didn't really know what to play for Fairy Gone, and I feel like, oops, and I feel like I don't really have a Fairy Gone-esque game to just play, so I just went ahead and, continue to play this game because I actually am trying to platinum it. So yeah, thank you for not being mad at me. But with all that being said, Fairy Gone this week, man, they were really making this a real ordeal. Like I feel like some animes and some shows in general, like for instance, recently Demon Slayer, people were really just kind of making fun of how fast and how easily, uh, the main guy gets over the whole entire fact that his family is taken out besides pretty much his sister. And he's like, oh no, I'm really happy, I'm smiling, I'm cheerful, I'm this, I'm that. It's like, for instance, there isn't a lot of writers that I think get their exact image that they put out in the manga or in just writing in general. I don't think they get all of the, actual things, criterias that they would want into these shows. So I understand that some people definitely probably saw a much cleaner version than this. And that's, kind of what I wanted. I always want to know the best outcome for the shows and stuff. I always want to see the show get the best adaptation it can, but sometimes that's not always possible. And from what I'm seeing in this show, I really enjoy it. Uh, I just like I was been saying is um, whenever you see things that kind of dull moments, like for instance, like the CGI and how the monsters could be so cool looking, but they just look the way that they do. That type of stuff kind of puts you in a way you'd be like, do I really want to continue watching something, that looks like this? And a lot of people already have decided no, like they're good. Like, no, thank you. Which is understandable, and it's just one of those things that I wish the people who are creating Fairy Gone and how they're illustrating, like, not only is one of the people who was supposedly on the train who was attacked, he was like the prime minister's one of his like noses or his eyeball. Um, him being there and him, getting attacked as well as everybody else, he ends up with like a little scratch on his wrist or something, but the whole time this episode, he's literally training and practicing as much as possible to be good with this fairy weapon that supposedly was stolen. I believe this is the same exact weapon that might have been the one thing being transferred. So it's weird that he gets home and nobody sees his storage. Like, or I get that because the bad guys just show up and they're like, here you go, the mission's complete, blah blah blah. But why why is nobody saying anything about a man training up top with a sword and shield? I guess no one can see him. He's on a private area. I got it. So there's a lot of ways you can look at this and I guess get away with it. But overall, I definitely love the fact that they gave this character time to grief. They gave this whole entire episode almost strictly to her grieving about what's occurring, and not only just occurring, but what's been always happening in her eyes, being the cursed child, thinking that she's nothing but a problem for everybody and she would be better off not existing and stuff like that. So her going to where it all started with her grandfather, quote unquote, someone that just helped helped out with her. Uh, it gave us another good feeling of what she was around, like what her surroundings is. He's considered like the mafia, like this guy is straight up higher. His family is like a higher power that can't be just governed by what happens in this by the government. They can literally fight it by using any means necessary. So it's pretty cool that that's how she was raised up, and it gives us a little bit more clarity why she's so, um, prone to death. Like she's probably seen death more than anybody on this army, maybe because of just like her situation with quote unquote being a curse and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm really really surprised with how the story is playing out and how much I'm actually enjoying it because my lord, I just wish this show looked as clean as it does with the fights. And the anime with the humans is same as the monsters because the monsters are dope looking, but I feel like we're going to see something pretty epic next week because that's why this week felt so good and actually grieving and letting the character hear what other characters actually have to say about the situation. Like he risked his life because not only was he in a terrible position to be still trying to fight and still trying to, resist a guy who has a fairy weapon that's straight up cutting through fairies like butter, and not even just fairies that we've seen a brand new fairy with like horns and all this stuff. The guy who dies, his fairy was ridiculous dope looking, and he just got absolutely destroyed. The first time we see it is the last time. So that's the type of weird, shenanigans that popped off this week. And at the same time, we're still just kind of left with this empty feeling of our characters not getting to do much for someone who they really cared about losing their life. Even the main director, who's the head of them all, really just was torn up about this. So I love shows that actually take time to give you an understanding how every single character almost felt. I almost knew how every character was going to take this after this episode, or how they're going to carry their loads. I mean, our main guy is straight up questioning why is he alive again? Like clearly he's lost multiple people in these fights and he's never the one who actually dies, and he's usually not. I don't even think he was really there. Like he showed up late after getting held up. So wild stuff in Fairy Gone. I do have another show I want to record, so I won't use Attack on Titan for that one. I'll use like something else that I like to use, maybe Monster Hunter or something. But I have another show. I'm probably going to drop 3 episodes tonight because I just don't want them to start to stack up. So with all that being said, guys and girls, thank you so much for the support. It's been amazing stuff. I can't believe you guys are still sticking around. I'm about to get my hands on a laptop relatively soon so I can start editing in some of these images that I take, and I will be able to just upload the images I have straight to this video, and it'll be really fire. So with all that being said, thank you for putting up with me, and I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I will definitely talk to you soon. And if you don't watch any of my other videos, I will talk to you tomorrow for sure. So with that, peace. Oh, and happy E3.